There have been many different versions of SSL and TLS over the years. The reason there are different versions is that as attacks and technologies have evolved, so has the protocol. All these different versions are simply showing you a different evolution of the original SSL protocol. Today, the world uses TLS, which stands for Transport Layer Security. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Now these terms, TLS and SSL, are often used interchangeably. Even though the entire world uses TLS, most people still refer to this as the SSL protocol, or they'll say things like SSL certificates or an SSL VPN. So throughout this course, if you hear me say SSL, know that I probably also mean TLS, and if I'm trying to refer to a specific version of SSL or TLS, I'll always include the version number. I'll say something like SSL version 3.0 or TLS version 1.0. Now, in part 2 of this lesson, I'm going to show you some of the differences from version to version. I'm going to mention what changed in SSL version 1.0 to bring us to 2.0, and what changed to bring us to 3.0, and what changed to bring us to TLS 1.0, and so on. But for the rest of this video, however, I want to show you which versions of SSL and TLS are supported by web servers on the internet. This graph was obtained from SSL Labs. They poll the entire internet and collect a bunch of cool SSL related statistics and put them into a neat report they call the SSL Pulse. This graph is from their report from May 2021. It shows us that about 99% of the world supports TLS version 1.2, and about 45% of the world supports version 1.3, and about 50% support TLS version 1.1, and a little bit less than that support TLS version 1.0. Now, you'll notice that those values don't add up to 100. The reason for that is when you set up SSL or TLS, you choose which versions of the protocol you want to support. Meaning, you could have a website out there that supports 3 different versions of the protocol. As a security engineer, you're going to have to make a decision about which versions of TLS you want to support and which versions of TLS you might be willing to support. It might seem like an easy choice and to simply take an idealistic approach and only support the most secure protocols. But remember, there are people out there with older devices and older software that might not support the newest versions of the protocol, and those people might very well be your potential customers. In some cases, the security risk to support those customers is not worth it. In other cases, it might be worthwhile depending on what you're trying to protect. For example, if you're someone like Wikipedia who is using TLS to protect publicly accessible information, then maybe you can be a little less strict insofar as what you support. But if you're a bank or a government entity, maybe you cannot afford to be less strict and must only use the most secure versions of the protocol. The point I'm trying to make is that as a security engineer, you have to balance security with accessibility. And that decision needs to be made on a case-by-case basis. Throughout this course, you'll be given plenty of information and context to help you make an informed and wise decision. And of course, there are also some industry best practices that I will communicate to you in the lessons and modules that follow. Either way, there is something else I want to draw your attention to. Notice each of these bars has this additional shaded region to the left. Well, that represents the supportability statistics from the month prior. For this report from May 2021, there wasn't large changes insofar as which versions of SSL and TLS are in use by the internet. But I want to pull you back in time and show you this same graph from another moment in time. Here is the graph from November 2014. Now in 2014, TLS 1.3 didn't exist. That's why it doesn't appear in this graph. And the world had a different understanding for which versions of the protocol were considered secure. Either way, I want to draw your attention to this right here. Notice in November 2014, about 60% of web servers supported SSL version 3.0. But the month prior, nearly 100% of web servers supported SSL version 3.0. The way things work in the security world is typically you don't have major shifts in what you support until a major vulnerability is found that makes it insecure to support older protocols. Well, 1 month prior to November 2014 was the release of the Poodle attack. And the Poodle attack allowed attackers to decrypt traffic that was secured with SSL version 3.0. That's why in November you see a large drop in the support for SSL version 3.0. So I want you to keep this effect in mind as we continue discussing different security trends and vulnerabilities in the SSL and TLS world. That said, that concludes what I wanted to communicate to you in part 1 of this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at some of the differences between each of the versions of SSL and TLS. The main takeaway from part 1 of this lesson is understanding that the different versions of SSL and TLS simply reflect an evolution of the original SSL protocol, and to give you an idea of which versions of SSL and TLS the world supports today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Did you enjoy this lesson? Do you want to understand the rest of the SSL and TLS ecosystem? If so, you'll want to check out my new course, Practical TLS. It's a comprehensive deep dive into the world of SSL and TLS designed to make you an SSL expert regardless of where you are now. This course is all you need to help you become the next SSL expert on your team or to help you nail those job interview questions. To learn more, check out pracnet.net/TLS or click the link in the description. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.